Hey everybody, and welcome to Papa Knows Stuff. Today I'm going to get started on a project, and before I get started I just want to send a shout out to Hayward Industries. I like to also refer to them as Hayward Pools. Just wanted to let them know I'm going to get started on the install of the AquaRite 40,000 gallon salt system. This is the gold standard as far as salt systems go in your pool. So today my plan is to get the controller mounted in the space that I've designated for it, and also get that wired in, electronically wired in. It's going to be wired off a timer on a 220 circuit that's feeding my pool pump and feeding a timer. That timer will also feed the controller for the salt system. So without beating around the bush or any further ado, let's get going. I do want to get started by showing you that I'm going to be replacing this salt system right here today. This is a Westoo 40,000 gallon salt system, but since the day it was installed, it's always leaked, always. And today is no different. Now right now it's telling me my salt is low. Not so sure that's true or not, but that's going to be coming out in the next couple of days. So I'm going to position our camera up here to get started. And I think that's probably going to be a good spot for it. Stay tuned. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get my little drill over here. I'm going to take those 4 screws that you see mounted right there on the panel. Those are coming out, and then we're going to plan for mounting our salt controller. Well, those are out of there. I put this panel here when my house was being sided, so I'd have places to mount my pool stuff, and that's exactly why that is there. Now this is the control unit of the salt system, and I think we're just going to mount that right there. That should be perfectly fine. So let me go get a screw, and we'll at least secure that in place for now, and I will be back in a second with that. So to do this little piece of the install, I've got a small level. I've got some 8 by 1 1/4 inch screws, and I've got some bits to match those screws. And these screws look like this. All right. It's like a star bit. That's perfect for what I'm doing here. Let's put this in place and mark it. And then we'll level it up and get it wired up. I want it about here. I'll put this screw in, and then we're going to actually hang it on here and then level it up. And then we'll tighten it. So for now, the weight is going to be hanging on one screw. Oh boy. It's a little heavier than I thought it would be. But that's going to go right in here like that. Okay? And you can tell we got to level that up. So we'll level this. That's perfect. That is right dead center. So that's about as level as we can get it. So another 4 screws and we'll be done mounting this. And then we can move on to the electrical phase of this. And for that part, obviously, I'm going to shut the power to the pump off. Okay? And then we've got 3 screws underneath here. That's not going to go anywhere. And I can't put a 3rd screw in here right now because the bonding lugs are in the way. So I'm going to skip. So I'm putting a total of 5 screws in. Fasteners, whatever you want to call them. People like to call them fasteners today. Now I think we need to take these 2 pieces out right here and then remove that panel so we'll have access to the wiring. Now that happens to fit. We'll take those off for now. That up top. We just had a little grommet fall out of here. We'll need that later. So put that on top too. And put this back up top. Then we'll take that off. There we are, and that just slips out of the bottom. So that's what we're dealing with on the inside here, all right? Now this is already pre-wired for 220, and that's what I'm going to be using is 220. All right. Let me put this over here out of the way. And I'll get you in here close. We're going to be putting these right here, right on the 220 line. That's what it's going to look like. If you took this out, it'd be 120. Put this in, it's 240. But that's the inside of this. That's all it is. So we're going to take a little break and cool off. And we'll be back at it in a little bit, and the power will be shut off. Thanks for watching. Okay, guys, we're back at it. What I'm using right now is I've got a pair of wire strippers. I've got some watertight conduit plugs. I've got a Phillips head screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, and I've got some 20 amp wire. Okay, 20 amp wire. So we're going to get started on this. That's the materials I'm going to be using. What I have here, though, I'll take you over here and show you. This is my pool timer right here. And this is live right now, but I'm going to have to take this plastic panel off. I have to come up to a knockout on the bottom. And we have to put some wires on here. That's the timer side of our electrical. But right now I'm going to go shut the power off and get ready to get this to the next phase. Be back in a few. Okay, we're back. So like I said before, I'm going to take those little plastic panel off of here. Now the power is off. There's a 20 amp circuit that powers this pump and timer, and that has been shut off. You can tell it's a little quieter out here now. We've got this little, they call it an insulator. I don't call that piece of plastic much of anything. Now we're going to have to put a liquid tight connector in here in the bottom. We're going to use a straight one, and that's going to be something looking like this. And I've already got a knockout in that box. Okay, oh, that's too big. Oh, are these connectors too big? Yeah, they're too big. Oh well. I'm going to have to go buy a couple of smaller connectors. Dang. These are 3/4 inch. And I need 1/2 inch. I'm going to have to go buy them, 2 of them. So I can't really do much right now. I'm going to have to power this back on. But I'll leave this off for now. And we'll run to the store. I'll run to the store and get what we need. Now, as far as a knockout goes, I'll probably come down here. I'll probably come down here and just loop this, like so. I won't use this big piece. I'll end up cutting it. But we'll end up looping it. And I got to go buy a couple of half inch watertight connectors, and then we'll be able to continue with this. But I'm going to cut a little piece of this off to take with me. This way I'll know I'll have the right size. So we're gonna go power the pump back on, and then I'll be back in a little while after I come back from the store with those connectors. Okay, so I'm back. I had to run to the store, and that changed a whole bunch of stuff for me, unfortunately, because I had to get some bonding wire. This is my bonding wire right here. I could have either bought 25 feet for like 30 bucks or a 10-foot piece for like nothing, for $9 and change. So that's what I did. I bought the $9 and change piece. This is more than long enough. More than long enough. So I'm just going to undo this and put it over to one side. And then they didn't have any 1/2-inch conduit. So I had to buy a kit, like a 4-foot whip. This is definitely more than I need, but it's all put together. It'll save me some wire. This is the next thing we're going to put together here. So, the way this works is quite simple. We fit this up inside here, like so. All right. Like that. Okay. Now we're going to have a knockout. We're going to knock this piece right out here and feed that in, and then we'll be able to wire it up. Put this over to one side for a second and knock that out of there that we don't need. Come on. There's a little extra help here. You just got to get it broken, then we'll be fine. Okay, that took care of that. Sometimes you need a little extra, how are you doing? Right? So that's going to come out of here now. And again, the power is all shut off. So this is going to come off of here, and there's a little like O-ring, a sealer, and that's going to feed in through here now. You can see. Now that's the perfect fit that we needed, okay? And this is going to go on and tie it all down. Got to get it started. And then it will hold itself in place. And we're going to point that straight down to the ground. Okay? Straight down to the ground, and we'll come up through the other box. We just use a screwdriver to tighten these up typically. Okay, now that's good and tight in there. And then we'll maybe cut this or bend it or something. But now, in the timer side of things, we have to come up through the bottom here and do the same thing. All right? Now the power's off in here so I can do what I want. All right? I want to move that ground wire so it's easier for me to get to. I'll pull that out of there a little bit. Yep, see? That'll be a little easier now. You see if you tighten that up a little while we're here. So that's going to go there, and then our other ground wire is going to go on that. Now, in this case, we have to thread this up through the bottom. Okay? I take this off of here. And this is, again, it's a little longer than we need, but as they say, it is what it is. So we'll just kind of get this in here for now. Okay, we'll put that like that. That's our ground, and we'll have another ground over here. We'll get this put in place. Obviously, we'll put it over here a little bit, but we'll tighten it up first. Get it nice and tight. And that's nice and tight, okay? And that's our 3 wires there. We got and our wires over here now. The power's off. So in this case, we are ready to get things connected. I'll probably put a strap over here at some point. Support it, like you put a strap in here. I know I have one someplace. So here, this has to go on that lug there. I'm just going to cut a little bit of this off. I'm going to cut it here. And we'll strip it. We'll put that on the ground. Let's see if we can make that a little bit longer and get a nice loop on it. Yeah. Yeah, and then we got a nice little thingamajig right here. We'll put it on like that. Okay, there we are. That's our ground. That's all done. Now we get down here. We've got to put one of these on number 1 and one of these on number 4. That's going to be a Phillips. We'll just strip this back here, each one of these back. It doesn't matter whether it's black or red. Either one, go either way. All right. Boy, it's hot out in the sun. Right now it's 87. There we are. We'll tighten that down. That looks good there. And then we'll do the same thing with the black on the bottom. Let's loosen her up. I am not an electrician, so if you're going to copy what I'm doing, do it at your own risk. Trust me. And that looks fantastic. Yeah, they both look fantastic. All right. Yep. Just tuck that out of the way. Now that this side is wired in, we can put our faceplate back on because we don't need to get in here anymore. So again, that's going to go down in the bottom of the box here. And then we're just going to put those 2 screws back in here. And that's this side buttoned up. And then we can close this up. We're done with this now. And we got to do some work over here. But I have to cut a little bit of that off. Maybe kind of like right about here. And strip that back. And then tie this together. Tie the 3 grounds together. We got one here. We got one here, and we got this. There we are. Nice and tight. And then I'm going to tuck this into the back here. Just like that. And we can tuck that, and we'll tuck this over here. Okay? That's all tucked away. Now I'm going to cut a little bit off of each one of these. Probably here. And the same over here, about even. And these have to be stripped back. And this isn't going to have any power in it for now because we're just doing this piece for today. And then I'm going to have to work on the plumbing. Okay, and the plumbing. But for now, this is going to come up in here. That's in there. Don't do this if the power's on. You'll find that out real quick. And that's going to come in this one here. We'll just tuck this stuff back in the box here. And then we'll put our guard back on. Okay. And our guard is up on top here. Come on, just pushing that back there for a little bit. I'm just putting this protective cover on here. And the last screw here. And now we're just going to tighten these screws up. I don't like so much the insulator. It's just plastic, but it is what it is. It's kind of flimsy. So it's all wired up. This happens to be off, so it's not going to matter when I turn the pool pump back on. So that is our wiring piece. And like I said, I'm going to put a strap down here to get this out of the way. Like that, okay? So I'll pick this junk up for now. We'll throw these pieces out. I'm going to put this grommet back in the boxes. Quite honestly, I don't know exactly what it's for, but I'll put it in there to save it for now. So that's the end of that. So we've got our power unit wired into our power, 20 amp circuit. This is all set to go. So the next time we get back out here, we'll be working on the plumbing and taking the old salt system out and doing our thing. Thanks for watching.